Well folks, we're back for day 2 of some Horizon speed builds, and like I said, I'm trying to prioritise vehicles which I think most players, especially coming over from Gran Turismo, are going to want to get into on the PS5 for the first time, and the McLaren Senna, I feel like is kind of one of those. So for this one we've gone for the all-wheel drive swap, of course. If you're totally new to my builds, if you're a purist, you won't like them, because you've got stuff like engine swaps and four-wheel drive and all that kind of stuff, but we're building cars which are good for everything, basically. Handling, drift, top speed, acceleration, all within one platform. So if you need to drift, just pull the e-brake. If you want it to be grippy, just use it as a cornering car. If you need to use it as a drag car, put on the drag tyres, kind of just an all-rounder in one package that you can do some minor tweaks to if you need to, change up the aero or the wheels, etc., as to your personal preference. Now, speaking of the aero, I actually haven't made any changes to this one because you don't really need to. As far as the wheels and tyres, of course, we've got the slicks on there as well. Incidentally, if you do want to grab this straight from my storefront, you can use the code 132950023 and you'll get this exact spec and visuals of car straight onto your vehicle. If you do though want to do it yourself and change around a few things, then of course that's where the video comes in. We've got the widest possible tyres for this one, lightweight wheels as well. If you just look down through the menu, in fact I'll show you on this occasion, it's the Advan RSDFs, and there are a few different rims. The Dymags are always ones which I reference that weigh about the same. They're the lightest ones you can get. As far as, if we jump out from the tyre section into the power section, of course, I've always said, and I'll say it again, just for everything, the highest amount of horsepower you can get, 1180 horses in the case of this one, no motor swap, which is curious. Of course, this is not the quickest of cars in the game anyway, but for those who do love it, at least you can get more performance. You don't need to upgrade the springs. I know some people like to put it on drift springs. You don't really need to, though. So it's already X-Class. It does technically improve a couple of the specs, but in practice you're not going to notice a huge difference. And as far as the weight loss, that is of course applied. Then for the transmission, we do have the 4-speed for this one, which is a bit more surprising because, again, it's not the most powerful of cars, but I do find that works pretty well with this car. It doesn't feel like it bogs down too much. And also, less time changing gears, of course, is always a good thing, especially through corners. We've got the driveline, of course, fitted, the race diff, and then after fitting all of that, if we jump back out, of course, there on the find tuning setups, that's where you can use your code to find the one that I've done. And as you can see, 1.7 to 60, 3 seconds to 100, and on paper at least 259 miles an hour. Spoiler alert, yeah, I mean, you'll have seen it in the thumbnail anyway, this can do 262. So as usual, it is quicker than the on-paper spec. We've got 34 psi on the tyres. For the all-important gearbox, 2.55, 2.8, 1.88, 1.37 and 0.98. Then for the alignment, 3 degrees on the front, 1.5 on the rear, little bit of toe in on the front, 0.5, none on the back, 6 for the caster angle, 40 and 25 for the anti-roll, springs on 80, 120 and the lowest ride height. Dampers are on 9, 13, 6 and 9. The aero, of course, is non-adjustable, which is unfortunate. It does have the active wing, so it makes sense why they wouldn't really let you change that. Brakes, it's personal preference. I never really touch those, but I know some people like to. And as far as the diff, 20-20 and then 70-70 with a 70% rear bias. If you want it to be even more loose on the front end, of course you could try 75 or 80, but at that point you can become sometimes a bit too tail happy, so it depends what you want and need from the car. Now, with all of that done, all of the parts fitted, or if you just, grab it from the storefront, whatever the case may be, then of course all that remains is to jump out to the road, in this case, rather than the track in Gran Turismo, and show you what the car can do in practice. Now, like I said, this can, as usual, exceed the on-paper numbers, if you will, of what the car can do. On this occasion, 262 miles an hour downhill. A couple of the cars from today, I'm actually doing the Ford GT later on as well, which is another curious example of a car which you really would expect to have a motor swap, but it doesn't. So it's no way near as powerful as a lot of players would probably hope. I mean, even this is really powerful compared to the Ford, which is kind of a shame, because I feel like the new Ford GT is such a fan favourite. But that one is coming up later on, as is the Porsche 911 GT2 RS later today, so check that out as well. That's it for this build. Of course, follow me in the game for hundreds more, and here on the channel as well for plenty more if you'd rather do it yourself and change the wheels and stuff like that. So that's it for the build. I'll see you next time, and thanks for watching.